Okay, well, hopefully this isn't too loud. Just in case. Never mind, can't be bothered. Hello and welcome to the predictions video. So we're going to make this quite quick and simple. So tonight is All Elite Wrestling's second official event, Fyter Fest, in association with CEO Gaming, the gaming festival. Yeah, we have 9 matches. As far as I'm aware, there are 3 of them happening on the pre-show, which of course is free and streamed on YouTube at the All Elite Wrestling channel, and also on Bleacher Report Live. If you're in the United States, you actually get to see the whole event for free. If you're in the UK or, well, anywhere else, I believe it's £9 to see the other 6 matches, which of course is all that's been confirmed so far. But this is wrestling. There are many other superstars who haven't had a match confirmed yet, and this is going to be a wrestling show, so they may throw some surprises at us. So we've got to bear that in mind. They are still throwing surprises at us, so you never know what's going to happen at all. So let's get to the kickoff show right away, and we'll start with the match that I'm probably the least excited for, and that's Michael Nakazawa versus the host and founder of CEO Gaming Festival, Alex Jabali, in a hardcore match, believe it or not. This story came about with Michael Nakazawa is somehow a rival of Matt Jackson from the Young Bucks. Everyone's been saying his name around, everyone's been wanting to hurt Michael Nakazawa, including the host of the event, Alex Jabali. And basically he says, oh, you know, he's in the event and he wants one favor for this coalition, and that's to have a match with Michael Nakazawa. Matt Jackson was happy to make it happen, wants him to get hurt, made it a hardcore stipulation, and there we are. Michael Nakazawa versus Alex Jabali. I believe Nakazawa will win because he was immensely popular at Double or Nothing, and he is the wrestler, so he is the man who should win that. This isn't necessarily in order, by the way. I'm just going off the list of what's on the pre-show and what's not. The next match is Smiley Kylie Ray versus the librarian Leva Bates, who will be accompanied by the other librarian, Peter Avalon, who you may know if you pay close attention to the indie circuit. Hard one to call this. Kylie Ray, she didn't pick up a win in her last match, and usually, you know, you would say, well, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to 50-50 book it, which is true, but I think they will. I think because Kylie was the one who took the pin at Double or Nothing in the Fatal 4-Way, you know, she didn't just lose, she was pinned, so she wasn't protected at all. I think it's a good time for her to get a win. We need her to have credibility. This has been a huge talk between wrestlers for quite some time. It always is. But yeah, we need Kylie Ray to have her credibility because she will be popular, you know, with that just a bubbly personality. People will love that. People already do. So I think Kylie Ray should be put over Leva Bates, which is, as I said, a librarian gimmick. Kind of see that being more a gimmick off, like outside of the ring, but apparently she is a wrestler, so there she is, Leva Bates. But no, Kylie Ray's going to win that one. So far, my predictions for wins are Kylie Ray and Michael Nakazawa. The final match on the pre-show that we've been told of is the first qualifier for the world, for the first ever AEW tag team titles, which is a long way of being announced yet. There's plenty of matches to come. It's basically a tournament. And yeah, we're going to start with a load of triple threats to get the preliminary people through, and then it'll take off from there at future events. So the first tag match, we're already going to see one of the potential favourites eliminated straight off the bat, because we have the best friends, Chucky T and Trent Beretta, taking on SCU, Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian, versus the Private Party, who aren't quite as established as SCU and the best friends. This is a tough one. This one is really, really tough. So the winner of this match goes to All Out, basically for the first round of the tournament. People have said that's kind of hard to follow, but if you actually think of it like that, it's really not that complicated. It's just clear that AEW are planning on having quite a few tag teams and not just having 2 or 3 to center around the entire division. So this is tough. I mean, sentimentally, I want SCU to win. I want Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian to succeed in AEW. I mean, they have already been fairly huge successes, but I think that, SoCal need to establish themselves in AEW. They don't just want to be known as the guys who were great on the indie scenes and are just here, because it's cool to have them here. Christopher Daniels has a massive role backstage, so there is a lot of pressure on these guys, and they do need to look good. So I'm going to say SCU, SoCal Uncensored, is going to win the triple threat. However, I wouldn't be surprised if the best friends were to win it either. I don't see Private Party winning it. As I said, they haven't established themselves. They need a rivalry with someone before they can establish themselves. It's going to have to be the established teams that go for the titles first out. So, yeah, we're gonna go with SCU on that one, but it could be the best friends. Like, don't rub it in my face if it's the best friends, because I'm half expecting it for both. I'm just going on sentimental value. And that is the end of the pre-show. So all of that you're going to get for free tonight. As I said, All Elite Wrestling YouTube channel, the Bleacher Report Live if you're in the US. It's going to be a great show. And then if you want to order it in any other country outside the US, you want to go to Fight TV. It sounds cheap and it looks a bit naff, I'm not going to lie, but it is a legit site. It's in association with ITV. I've already purchased my Fyter Fest and received my $1 credit on my phone for any future pay-per-views that I should want. So very handy there. So we go into the main 6 matches, the ones that you're paying for. And we're going to start off with a match that probably won't mean much to anyone if you've not seen Double or Nothing. Nyla Rose versus Yuka Sakazaki versus Riho. Riho she's currently holding 2 belts in the women's Japanese circuit, and Yuka Sakazaki is currently holding 1. So they're both currently very successful in Japan. They're both riding waves of popularity in their home. They were extremely talented. They were the standouts in the 6-woman Joshi match they had, and that was saying something. Because everyone brought their own elements to the ring. Sakura was very flamboyant, Aja Kong and Ryo Mizunumi were both very powerful. But Yuka Sakazaki and Riho were the high flyers, the really flexible ones. And Nyla Rose is a beast. Flat out beast. So it's going to be hard to pick a winner for that. And you'd think, again, we're going off the logic from Double or Nothing, you'd assume, because Nyla Rose didn't take the pin at Double or Nothing, that she was protected. They could easily do that again today and have the winner come down between Sakazaki and Riho. But I think we need to give Nyla Rose some momentum here, because I saw a brilliant summarizing of Awesome Kong's arrival, and I can imagine that everyone but Nyla Rose was happy to see Awesome Kong, because Nyla Rose's gimmick was that she's this really big, strong woman, and then out comes Awesome Kong, who's bigger and I'm not going to say stronger, but you know, she's got a bigger presence about her, and she's more well known. So Nyla's fire has kind of been put out before it even got a start, and yeah, she needs that win. Like, out of the three of them, she's the one who needs it, because we really don't know realistically how involved the likes of Riho and Yuka Sakazaki are going to be involved, because it depends on their ability to speak English, you'd assume. Yeah, it's just crazy to think, you know. With Riho being young and Sakazaki, she didn't get pinned, you know, so neither of these three women have lost any momentum. But I'm going to go with Nyla Rose. But Yuka and Riho will go down looking good. You know, they will be put over. And speaking of Asians who will be put over, the next match is Christopher Daniels versus Shima. Now, Christopher Daniels, obviously with SCU, who beat the Strong Hearts at Double or Nothing. The Strong Hearts being the team of Shima, El Lindemann, and T-Hawk, all from the Japanese wrestling school OEW. Shima is not in here as a trainer. He is in here as a legitimate talent, and he is regarded to this day as the greatest talent to ever come from that part of the world, China. Greatest Chinese wrestler, etc. They want him to be known, and they want the respect that he deserves to be blossomed. Because Shima will be seen on the likes of Wednesday Night Dynamite when it starts. It's going to be interesting, but he is there, and he needs his credibility just like anyone else. Christopher Daniels has so much credibility, so much respect already with the crowd, with the company, and he has that win at Double or Nothing. So I'm going to go with a little bit more 50-50 booking here, and everyone's going, oh, 50-50 booking. It's like, bear in mind, these are the early shows, so the only way to establish a good overall roster is to start with 50-50 booking most of the time. You know, have your odd ones who, you know, are as close to unstoppable as it gets. Sure, it's very good to have that, but in moderation. And you've also got to have the others, like I said, excel as well. Because it's not just good heroes that sell tickets, it's also good bad guys. So, you know, they've just got to balance it out. They've got to give the bad guys some good moments. They've got to give the good guys some bad moments. That's just the way wrestling works, and they've got to do it just better, in a better and different way from how WWE did it, and that's the whole point. So I think Shima is going to go over, and he's going to beat Christopher Daniels. It's going to be a great match. It's going to be a great match regardless. So definitely tune in for that one. But yeah, I definitely see Shima coming away with the win for this one. So not many more matches left to go through. So the next one is Cody Rhodes versus Darby Allin. Darby Allin, for those of you who don't know him, is a nutcase. He is an adrenaline junkie, skateboarder kid, basically a jackass-esque self-taught stuntman. He's got a very dark past. His gimmick is very bipolar, which just leads to craziness, but apparently that suits him to a T. So gimmicks that suit the person usually thrive, right? Taking on Cody, who beat Dustin Rhodes, his brother, at Double or Nothing. People have been criticizing Cody already, and I have no idea how that's even possible, but they've been criticizing him, saying that he's going to be a lot like a Triple H, in that he's only going to go and put himself over like he did against Dustin. I think he had to put himself over against Dustin, because the whole point of AEW, the whole promo, was that Cody was going to kill the Attitude Era. Dustin was from the Attitude Era, so he had to win. Or therefore, AEW's message would be, well, actually, we still can't even beat the ones that are 50 years old. So Cody had to win that, okay? No sentimental value included. He had to win it. This time, not so much. I think there will be some nonsense that'll happen between him, his brother, and the Young Bucks at Fight for the Fallen. I think that is where we'll probably see his next win. But I think Darby Allin has to beat Cody. Again, just to make this guy look legit. To make him look like a threat. You know, to put the fear into Cody. To build a story with someone immediately, you know. We can't just have all these people are coming and Cody is the best EVP there ever was. Along with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. Because they kind of shot themselves in the foot by making themselves all EVPs, because now everyone's just going to say, oh, well, Kenny Omega is going to win the world title because he's an EVP, not because he's Kenny Omega. And it's like, people will just completely, people just dismiss it that quickly. As if, but then they've got to remember, this isn't the WWE. These people are doing it to put others over. Kenny Omega worked with that girl, Riho, that I said who's in the Triple Threat. He worked with her while she was only a 10-year-old in the ring. And believe it or not, somehow that's legal in Japan. But yeah, wrestling with this child, you know, putting her over, it's like, that's what we can expect. That's the level of commitment we can expect from these guys, you know, because they've been hard done by the shit that they're now trying to rectify. So yeah, I think Darby Allin's got to win against Cody. Only 3 matches left, and the 3 matches that I am absolutely fucking pumped for. And that's the Fatal 4-Way. Between one of the number 1 contenders for the AEW World Heavyweight title, Hangman Adam Page, taking on the mute character Jungle Boy, the extremely annoying but best heel in wrestling today, MJF, and the King of the Death Match, the Prince of the Goths, and one of my sentimental favorite wrestlers, Jimmy fucking Havoc. This match could go literally in any direction, but there's one way that I don't see it going, so I'm going to rule it out right now, and that's, I don't think Jungle Boy is going to win this match. But I also don't know if he's going to get pinned. We'll have to see. MJF has been beaten by Hangman Page. Has this rivalry with Hangman Page. And it's something they'll need to build for longer than just a few shows. This whole concept of MJF claiming that this all belongs to him and that Hangman is undeserving of all of this. So in order to keep that story alive, you would have to imagine that MJF wouldn't get pinned as well, and that he might win. As I said, I rule out Jungle Boy winning, but I don't rule out MJF, Jimmy Havoc, or Hangman Page losing. I see the 3 of them winning. It's tricky. This match is tricky, and it's going to be a real pest to predict. I believe that if either of those 3 will win, it will be done in the following ways. If Hangman Page wins, he'd have to pin MJF. Even though I said to continue the story, the only thing they could do is cut off MJF and have him do all his good work and build up again. Because I can't see Page pinning Havoc. I think Havoc is also going to receive a degree of protection in this match. If MJF wins, or if Jimmy Havoc wins, I think it would be Jungle Boy getting pinned. I really do. I think it would be Jungle Boy. Sorry to say that, Jungle Boy. Jimmy Havoc, yeah, it would have to be Jungle Boy. MJF, it would have to be Jungle Boy. Hangman Page will not get pinned, but if he doesn't win, yeah, he still won't get pinned. I think Page is going to be protected as the number 1 contender. It's a tough one. You would say Hangman is the favorite, but I'm going to go with sentimental value again, and for the sake of putting over more people so we have a bigger, thicker story to work with. And I think Jimmy Havoc should win by pinning Jungle Boy. In my dream scenario, he would pin MJF. And that, at least in that way, if they try to continue the story, MJF can say, yeah, sure, I was pinned, but I was not pinned by you. I was pinned by Jimmy Havoc. So, you know, you've just got to think about the story here with AEW, because they've got all this planning to do, unlike the WWE. So I'm going with Jimmy Havoc, but again, don't hold me to it if Hangman Page wins. Yeah. Two more. This one's going to be absolutely crazy, and I think people forget how crazy Dean Ambrose was before he went to WWE. He was a Jimmy Havoc who did decide that he could dilute it down, that he could tone it down for a product that would give him more money. So when you think about it like that, Dean Ambrose is one of the most committed guys ever. But Jon Moxley, watching some of his stuff in the past, especially in CZW, Jon Moxley is a nutter when it comes to being in the ring, especially a non-sanctioned match, which is basically an Extreme Rules, anything goes match, whatever you want to call it. Joey Janela is just as crazy. This match is going to be crazy. These are two guys who don't give a fuck, who have both come close to dying in the ring and still don't give a fuck. This match is going to be absolutely fucking carnage. And I believe, from a wrestling standpoint, the main event, which I'm about to say, is going to be probably the best wrestling match. But I think the most intense match is going to be Joey Janela versus Jon Moxley. I think that has the potential to be amazing. But Jon Moxley's got to win it. You know, fresh out the heel door of WWE. I'm not going to say, because they said they were going to push him to the moon, but let's face it, if you're going to convince someone to leave WWE for creative freedom, then that means they're going to have to be doing something, well, creative and involved in a title picture. So, you know, Moxley's going to be a big deal. He already is. So Moxley's going to beat Janela. But by no way is Janela going to look like a chump. Janela is going to look, like I said with Moxley, all these guys are going to look they're going to look crazy. Because they are. You know, to be blunt, they are. So Jon Moxley to win. 6-man tag match is the main event. It's the Laredo Kid and the Lucha Brothers, Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fenix, taking on the Elite, which is the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, and Kenny Omega. This one is easy for me, because the Lucha Brothers recently won back their titles from Young Bucks. I think it would be a bit boring if the Young Bucks were to pin any one of the two Lucha Brothers. And Kenny Omega, of course, has that loss to Jericho. And Laredo Kid is not AEW, so I'm going to say Kenny Omega is going to beat the Laredo Kid, and the Elite will win. That one seems a lot more obvious to me. And again, it's not a matter of putting the CEOs over. It's just a matter of the Lucha Brothers are still doing their own thing, mixed in with AEW. The Laredo Kid isn't with AEW. And Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks are staying, and they need to look good. And they've just lost the titles, so they need a win. And yep, like I said, everyone just wants a break from the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers. We've had some great matches. Now we leave it sit for a while. It's time for Kenny Omega to show us what he's got and pick up a win. Maybe he will pin one of the Lucha Brothers, but it will be Omega who does it. So to recap on our 9 winners. Michael Nakazawa, Darby Allin, the Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, Jon Moxley, Hangman Adam Page, but I'm hoping Jimmy Havoc, Shima, Nyla Rose, SCU, but it could be Best Friends, and Kylie Ray. I always say Kylie as if I'm making a mistake, but I always prefer to say Smiley Kylie Ray, because that's more of the gimmick. But yes, there's your predictions for AEW Fyter Fest. I hope you're going to enjoy the show. I know already I'm going to enjoy the show just from the hype of it existing in the first place. I love half the wrestlers on there already. You will as well. Please check out the pre-show. AEW really is offering something completely different from WWE. If you like pro wrestling but you don't like WWE, trust me, this could be for you. And if you do like the WWE and you're like a sad fan, if you know what I mean, if you're a hardcore fan, and also in the other sense of sad, if you're feeling a bit disgruntled, AEW, I'm not telling you to ditch WWE, I'm telling you to watch both. I'm telling you to watch AEW and WWE. Get the WWE network so you never have to pay stupid money for pay-per-views, and just buy pay-per-views for AEW because they're relatively well priced, and if they're in your local area, their tickets are indie prices. You know, they're keeping it real. That's how they're going to keep AEW afloat. They're not going to try to hit the same level as WWE. They're just going to have a very well-managed indie show that's on the TV. They're just going to try and have a more functional version of Impact, really. But trust me, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. There's blood, there's swear. It's going to be good. Just check out AEW. Enjoy.